Well, there's a lot of chatter about fuel strategy with all this yellow. If they got great mileage, they might be able to make it in 2 stops. Kenny Breck doesn't have a choice. He's got to stay at the front. He's going to get at least 10% worse mileage than those trailing behind him, and that means guaranteed he's at 3 stops unless we've got more yellows or circumstances change.
Pace car comes off the course. Pace picks up. Kenny Breck is going to lead the field back. Green flag is out. Back to full speed once again. Max Pappas, Breck's teammate, is there in second place. Not good for Max to necessarily be in front, but also Montoya comes around. Breck drops to third. Blundell closes in. I wonder if that is rivalry or team strategy there.
Well, I think what happened is that Kenny just gave a great tow to both Max Pappas and Juan Montoya, and they slingshotted by and left Kenny for dead coming off the second corner. Mark wasn't able to use that momentum to his advantage, and now everything is sort of stabilized. We can see Cash Nevis once again on the high side. That car working so well up there that I think Kenny was just taking advantage of. He's got to feel cheap and dirty at this point.
Well, Scott Remke down at Rahal Pits runs that car for Kenny Breck, does the strategy, and I bet the cogs and wheels are spinning in his mind trying to figure out what to do here. Sitting back there is Mark Blundell, currently 5th. Jan Bikas?
Yeah, great run for Mark Blundell, and consider that yesterday he thought his day was done. He was walking down the pit road shaking people's hands as though that was his last time in the car. But because of the overnight red flag, they found a way to fix what they perceived to be an oil leak, and now he gets a second shot at it. And considering he shot through that debris without damage, maybe this will be his lucky day.
Oh, man, the whole thing changes again as Breck comes to the front with Castro Neves coming into second place.
And keep in mind, we've got the powerhouses of engine manufacturers at the front with Ford, Toyota, and Honda. Mark Blundell with Mercedes that has struggled all year long. Here, horsepower is extremely important. In order for Mark to stay at the front, he's got to trim his car out in order to get some of the drag, give away some downforce in order to match top speeds, which means he's hanging on in comparison to everyone else. This is a great run for Mark Blundell.
You know, Mark Blundell, Roberto Moreno, Jill DeFerrin, a whole group of them were at Rosa's restaurant last night, carbo loading on the pasta there. But Mark looked particularly relaxed as he was talking with his longtime friend and neighbor in Scottsdale, Arizona, their Harley Collection. So they were just nice and easy, and it's paying off here today. Boy, look at it. They split the leader again, and Blundell is in this fight. Again, Breck is a guy that's got a problem trying to get up at the front and lead these laps. Blundell's teammate, Mauricio Guzman, is out of the run, and right now he's with Rick DeBrule as Kenny Breck. Oh, and looks like Blundell's got an engine going.
Mark, you're blowing. You get out of it.
He's just going to run it right up next to the wall. That's the only thing a driver can do. He couldn't cut back down on the track since he's running in his own oil. The best thing you could do.
That is great. I mean, that pass you put on him was awesome.
Just as he goes into the lead, the engine lets him down, but a great bit of driving by Mark Blundell. What a way to end his career here in kart, at least for now.
And Parker, as you said many times, they tend to go real fast just before they stop going whatsoever.
Once again, we saw some heads-up driving. He had just taken the lead on the back straightaway. We can see Kenny Breck drafting down the inside. The engine lets go, and this is every driver's worst nightmare, is to be mid-corner, full throttle, have the engine let go. You can see Mark drove it right up against the wall. The best thing he could do so that if the car started to get away from him, he could just grind the speed down, going parallel with the wall and not take a big hit.
Here's the whole deal as Breck goes to the inside. Blundell splits to the outside of Castro Neves. Blundell goes to the lead. I'll bet Kenny Breck will never be so thankful that he decided the lower line going into 3 was a little bit better idea.
And you can see Mark hanging on. The car was actually a little bit loose coming off too. Breck picks up the draft, Blundell staying with him, and then the thing lets go. That's too bad. Very, very nice man. Last one here back in 1997. He's given Motorola Pac West a great run, and he did a great bit of driving there.
In the Rahal pits, they've laid out for a possible appearance by Max Pappas.